Hello my peeps! Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a little bit of an educational video. I think that the title is gonna read something like 10 things you don't know that were Scottish, but in fact this is gonna be more of a 10 things I didn't know were Scottish before I moved here. So please don't get too angry down there in the comments. I imagine a lot of you knew that some of these things were Scottish before you came here to watch this video. I totally think that a lot of you are smarter than me. But for me, I learned about a lot of these by visiting the museum or just kind of Googling it randomly. There's a lot of listicles around the internet that will give you some insight into interesting Scottish stuff, but I try to kind of collate my own list of the 10 things that I found interesting, and I think that each one of you will find at least one interesting thing. Let me know which one you found the most interesting down below in the comment section, instead of fighting or calling me ignorant. I do not appreciate that. Number 1. Golden Retriever dogs. I had no idea. To me, they always screamed like American dogs or Canadian dogs perhaps. They are just so wholesome looking, but they were actually first bred here in Scotland in mid-19th century to, well, not surprisingly, retrieve game during hunts. They would usually retrieve game from like lakes and rivers, which is why nowadays golden retrievers absolutely love swimming. And they are also not the only dog breed that I wanted to mention, because to me it was also surprising to learn that Shelties, the sort of like tiny collies, I always thought that those were like a toy dog. I thought that they were bred to just be cute, but no, they were actually bred to be sheepdogs. They are like an actual sheepdog used for work. That's so adorable, such a hardworking but cute breed. Also the border collie, which is again kind of obviously from the Scottish borders. So yeah, did you know about that? I had no idea. And then you have the Scottish fold cat, but I think that with that one, the name just, like, you know, says it all. Like, that should not surprise anyone at all. We're gonna stay in the animal world for one more bit, because number 2 is Dolly the sheep, the first ever mammal to get cloned. That came out of a scientific project here at the Edinburgh University. Not everyone involved, as you know, on the scientist side of this project was necessarily pure Scottish, but the sheep was Scottish, so it counts. It absolutely counts. Nowadays you can go say hi to Dolly in the National Museum of Scotland. She will not say hi back because she is taxidermied, but she's still very cute. And you can learn about a lot of other great scientific stuff at the museum. By the way, like, you can probably skip this video altogether if you're going to the museum anytime soon, but right now when I'm shooting this, the museum is closed because we're still in lockdown, so hopefully this is gonna make up for it. You can look at my face and listen to me telling you interesting stuff instead of seeing the most beautiful museum I know. Number 3, Kaleidoscopes. So this one is kind of random. It was invented by Sir David Brewster, who kind of invented it as almost like an art thing. Like, he thought it would bring this endless inspiration to artists, which is probably true. I love kaleidoscopes, and I especially loved them back when I was about 4 years old. But then again, look at me now. I am a full-grown artist now. He was also the person to come up with the first stereoscope, which you might know under the branded name Viewmaster, which is that like 3D thing that's, again, I used to have when I was little. I used to have like a Disney themed one, but back in the 19th century, I believe a lot of them were used for erotica. Hey Simon, have you ever seen those? The like erotic Viewmasters?
No, just the Star Wars ones.
Oh, that's weird, because like when you're in Prague, when I was little, in Prague, you would be crossing Charles Bridge and the souvenir sellers would have so many of these like 19th century butts and boobies in little stereoscope like paper thingies.
Prague is so pretty. Bohemian.
Number 4, TV, telephone and fridge. Yes, you heard me correctly. Basically, your first Sims apartment could be made all out of Scottish inventions. You probably know that your telephone comes from Alexander Graham Bell, who apparently kind of disliked his invention. He found it very distracting. So even back then, even the first telephones were already totally horrible for your productivity and focus. Your TV comes from the brilliant mind of John Logie Baird. And the refrigerator was first brought to this world by William Cullen. Number 5. Grand Theft Auto. The game, not the crime. You probably know that nowadays the GTA games and the Red Dead Redemption games are brought to you by Rockstar Games, which do also own Rockstar North, which is a game studio that's like 10 minutes away from our house. But Rockstar North used to be DMA Design in Dundee, and they came up with the first Grand Theft Auto to start this amazing franchise of games. Number 6. Skyscanner and Mashable. You probably do know Skyscanner if you've ever tried to save some money on your flights, and Mashable kind of contributes to the landscape of today's internet with a YouTube channel and a website with Memes? Is that what they do? Mashable actually started as a little WordPress website built in like a teenager's bedroom in Aberdeen, which I found really cute. And like 3 years ago, it was bought for 50 million bucks. So there you go. That's some Scottish success for you. Skyscanner actually still operates from Edinburgh. They have a really, really nice office, and I do have a friend who works for them. You know who you are. Number 7. Penicillin. I guess that a lot of you probably do know that Alexander Fleming was Scottish, especially if you are British. I mean, Simon, did you know that Alexander Fleming was Scottish?
Fleming's a good Scottish name.
Yes, and he was many times voted one of like the top 3 biggest Scots. I mean, just think about it. Like antibiotics probably saved millions and millions of lives around the world. It's a big deal. But for me, as a continental European, I sadly have to say that very often when we were taught something like this, they would just tell us like, they were British. Okay, and we just took it. Like we just, that was it. We never really, as kids and teenagers and young adults, we never really questioned the whole complicated politics of Great Britain. Number 8. A couple of dudes who sound super American, but they're not. They're super Scottish. For example, John Muir, who I always thought was American. You always hear about him in the context of American national parks, because that's quite a large part of his legacy, but he's very Scottish. I mean, his name sounds super Scottish, so now kind of after 9 years here, I hear it now. Also, BC Forbes, the founder of the Forbes magazine. Another one who surprised me was David Buick, who started the Buick Motor Company. Again, you always think of Buick as one of the quintessential American car brands, and no, he was a Scottish guy. Number 9. Bovril and Rose's Lime Cordial. So Rose's Lime Cordial is basically like a squash that's made out of limes. That makes sense, right? You can put it into water, you can put it in your gin and tonic, tasty stuff. But I never realized that it was actually first created here in Leith, Edinburgh, down by the harbors, and it was originally meant for the sailors to drink to not get scurvy. Vitamin C, the magic of nutrition. Of course, to make it last longer, they had to also add a bunch of rum into it, so I mean, that sounds pretty good. Now, Bovril, if you're not familiar, is kind of like a British miso soup. It's this beefy thing in a jar, and you just kind of mix it with hot water, and you get this like beef tea. Number 10. The Széchenyi Bridge in Budapest. Are you surprised? It's not even here on the British Isles, it's all the way in Hungary. It's that beautiful, iconic bridge that you can see on at least 50% of all the touristy postcards you can buy in Budapest. It's been originally designed by an English architect, but Adam Clark was the Scottish engineer who actually went there and had the whole thing built. And he had quite a close relationship with that bridge, because apparently he managed to save it from being destroyed at least 2 times, either by flexing his diplomacy diplomacy muscles, and sometimes straight up by like sabotaging the Austrian army. Cool guy. Now as a bonus round, I have a list of people who you might not know are Scottish. Annie Lennox from Eurythmics. I had no idea. Kevin McKidd from Grey's Anatomy. He makes sense because he was also in Trainspotting, but in my head, I definitely watched Trainspotting in a very different part of my life than I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and it never quite overlapped in my brain, so it just never clicked. Tilda Swinton, the band Franz Ferdinand, Calvin Harris, Simple Minds. And Hagrid, Robbie Coltrane, who has Irish accent in the movies, right?
You're a wizard, Harry. No.
Really? Wow, I am not gonna be an honorary Scot. Is that the Scottish accent then?
No, he puts on a kind of regional northern farmer's accent.
Fair. Well, anyway, he's also Scottish. Also in the Harry Potter movies, Cho Chang has a Scottish accent, and I never heard it until literally like this year. We watch Harry Potter movies at least once a year, like the whole series, and it never occurred to me that she has an accent, let alone Scottish accent. I just couldn't hear it.
So does Oliver Wood in the first film.
Well, but he is Scottish, right?
He is.
But Cho Chang is not like canon Scot. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think they actually mention it. If you're a Harry Potter fan, and I know that a lot of you guys who watch my videos are Harry Potter fans, let me know in the comments below if it's actually canon that that Cho Chang is Scottish, because I don't think so. But we can have a little, you know,
debate.
Yeah, a little nerdy chinwag down in the comment section. Anyway, also sticky postal stamps are apparently a Scottish invention. And of course, if you can think of any other cool stuff that is Scottish, but people might not know that is Scottish, please share down below with everyone. I think that everyone's going to be really interested in going through everyone's comments and learning even more stuff. Learn more stuff. Now that we have all the time in the world, we are not allowed to go outside. It's time to learn stuff. Alrighty guys, if you want to know what I'm up to in my day-to-day life, spoiler alert, right now, not much, but you can still follow me on my Instagram. I will super appreciate it. It's a great place to start a conversation with me, so either kakibot for my illustrations or kakiblog for my photos, but you can reach out on either. I don't mind. I really appreciate any and all of your support, and I shall see you soon. Bye! It was John Logie. It's like Yogi Bear now.
Please write John Yogi Bear and the subtitles.
It was John Logie
No,
Bird.
get your together first.
Baird.
John Logie Baird. Fuck's sake. John Logie Baird. John Logie Baird.
John Logie Baird.
John Logie Baird. John Logie Baird. John Logie Baird. 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 7. Penicillin. Is that how you pronounce it?
Penicillin.
Penicillin?
Yeah. Penicillin.
Penny? Like penny? Like you would say, like when you say like I have a penny.
Not quite, no. Penicillin.
Penicillin.
Penicillin, yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to avoid making it sound too penisy.
Penicillin. Penicillin.
Penicillin. Penicillin. Emma Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson?
Not Thompson. Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson.
Oh, so you're saying it's the T, not the P.
Yeah. You can be quiet with the P, but it's a T sound. Not a
Like
th.
thigh,
Yeah.
not thigh.
Yes.
This is it. English language, everyone.